Good evening, friends, and welcome to Littleport Christian Spiritualists. It's a pleasure to see everybody signing on and seeing all the comments down the side and welcoming everyone into Chateau Delnick à la Boudoir del Brown for this, the first visit of spiritualism into May and the penultimate month indeed of our visits from this specific location, we pray. Yes, because June will be the last month that we are broadcasting from Chateau Delnick. We will be back in the village hall in July, we pray, please God. But welcome one and all. What a wonderful evening it's going to be. I know this. Pauline Wallace, hello. Yes, you have caught us live. We are here. Of course, there's always technical issues going on somewhere in one of our services, but that's not to be worried about, because we know that Spirit will provide and give us the help we need. So, friends, what has been going on this week? Well, of course, plans are afoot to return and bring you all dragging, kicking and screaming into the village hall in July. We are also talking about getting the workshops back up and running, which will be fun. And we're also having something of a Littleport themed night tonight, looking at the lower level screen in the studio on the computer. But of course it might be Littleport themed, but it is globally welcoming to both those watching now live at home and those that will be watching in the future throughout the week on catch up. And you're all most very welcome. And I'll tell you who else is welcome as well. Our medium for this evening. She's a lovely lady and a very good friend of ours here at Littleport. So let's see if she can hear us, see if we can see her. Alison, are you there?
I am indeed. Hello, everyone. How are you?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Very well. So what have you been up to, my love?
I've been quite busy, actually, doing one thing or another. I've been doing some readings, been doing some writing. I'm writing a book, so that's interesting. So I've been quite busy.
Excellent stuff. Now, it's funny you should say that, because I know someone else who's been working on a book, and it's not exactly the same direction as you might think. I would love to say let's ask her about it, but her device is not connected, Reverend Kathy. Her device is not connected. Please help. She's blown me a kiss and thrown the phone on the floor. So that's given away one of our visitors for this evening, of course. But yes, it's wonderful how Spirit get us working with those words, don't you think?
Definitely.
I was talking to someone today about a spiritualist subject. I was talking to Penny, and she was asking me my opinion on something spiritual. Mm-hmm. And I started saying something. I thought, I've read this somewhere before. It sounds like I've read it. Where have I read it before? And it was something that I'd written and hadn't even remembered where I got it from. But Spirit do provide us with what we need. Spirit provide us with the assistance. But Spirit always provide us with the words. And I think that is quite important, really. I'm just going to take my earphones out because they're not very good and I don't like them. And I don't need to be quiet tonight because the other half's not home yet. So I've got the place to myself. But one thing I haven't got to myself, of course, is this evening, because technical issues aside, please don't worry. She's not all of a blur herself. It's just the camera. We're not going to worry about that. We're not going to worry about echoes. We're not going to worry anything else. So long as we can see and hear her after a fashion and say those magic words. Hallelujah. Reverend Lynn, are you there?
Well, apparently I am. In a blaze of light. Well, I look about 30 years younger, that's for sure.
Absolutely. You don't look a day over.
And very holy. Now, the thing is this, the last thing I heard you talking about before it all went dark was book writing.
Told ya.
And the fact is that, of course, we've been very busy, haven't we, Nick? You know, and I'm not using the royal we, because Nick's been very busy on my behalf. I've been busy on the local community behalf, because I have to do the local community magazine, and it's, you know, it's all systems go at the minute. But Reverend Nick has also been committing to paper some teachings from the realms of light, from the group of beings that I work with in spirit, that when pressed for a name, which they did not wish to give me at the time, they then said, "Oh, very well then, iconoclast." And of course that really means idol bashers, which is quite appropriate, I suppose. But the thing is that it connects up with the fact that Maurice Barbanel, who was also a writer, of course, as you know, and editor of Psychic News, as I was too, who actually published the Archbishop's investigation, the report on spiritualism that was undertaken in 1939, and it was thereafter suppressed, you see, because there were some quite favourable, as you can imagine, quite favourable reports on investigation into spiritualism by the Church of England, you know, high-ups. And Maurice Barbanel, who was then editor of Psychic News, the old established then weekly newspaper for spiritualists, he actually was leaked the report in full, would you believe, by obviously one of those who took part, and he published it in Psychic News, and he actually used Psychic News as well to actually transmit the teachings from his group of guides in spirit, and that was called Silver Birch. You know, the spokespersons for the group was called Silver Birch, and so he actually used Psychic News to promote the teachings of his group. And when I became editor many years later, of course, they then said to me, "We would like you to also publish some of our words. And this is why you are editor of Psychic News." Apparently they did it all, I didn't, which we know is true. If we look back on our lives, we can see how much we're actually guided into the positions and situations that we find ourselves in, sometimes very uncomfortable, very painful, traumatic, but nevertheless, there we are. And we are all here talking about it now. So we must have been able to overcome all those difficulties with their help, the difficulties that we were into. And the fact is that just recently, circumstances happened that brought to light all the teachings that I had actually given to my scribe, who was Kathy, and I believe at one point Reverend Nick was also present when one of those trance teachings was delivered. There were actually answers to questions that were given, and there were very many, and over a period of about 2 years or so, I faithfully did that every week, and then it was to be no more until just recently, when it all turned up again. So there we are. They said, "That's it, you know, get them out there." And, you know, so that's what Reverend Nick has been involved with doing. And very heavy work it is. I think he's talking about 208 pages and rising.
Yes.
So, but we are going to make sure that it's absolutely cheap as chips, as they say, so that everybody can have it. You know, like the Bibles that are given out free. We can't do it free, obviously, because we have to cover our costs. but we live in this material world. But certainly that's virtually all it would be, and a bit to go back to church and so on and so forth. Anyway, so the fact is this, that it's interesting also to talk about the Church's Fellowship for Psychic and Spiritual Studies, because I belong to them. It's actually a group of, it's basically a Christian organisation which looks at the paranormal, which looks at spiritualism in a very different way from that which you would expect some of the more orthodox Anglicans to look at. Yes, I told them actually today, I left a message on their page to say that there was a service tonight at which I would be speaking, so they get a mention too. The fact is, you see, that they talk about spiritualism as being human-centered and not God-centered. And what I always point out is that the principal tenet of spiritualism, that all spiritualists, virtually all who say they're spiritualists, subscribe to, is the fact that we accept and we understand and we know that there is a father and motherhood of God if you like, father and motherhood, a parenthood of God. And in the USA, of course, one of the huge organisations out there, spiritualist organisations, talk about their first principle as having a belief in an infinite intelligence, which of course is like, as the Masons would say, the great architect, etc., and designer of all things. And, the fact is this, that yes, we are a science, we are a scientific religion, because the science is in our demonstrating that what we are believing as a religious movement, that there is life after this life, that we prove that through our mediums. And that means that it is actually scientific. We are actually proving something that we say is true to be true. And we rely very much on our mediums. And because of that phenomena of spiritualism, psychic phenomena, spiritual phenomena that we recognise and demonstrate, as our exponents demonstrate to us, as Alison will demonstrate tonight, comes our philosophy, and our philosophy of life, which is, of course, as we all know, we are all from the Great Spirit, we are all one spirit, so we are all love. And, so we uphold the great commandment of Jesus Christ, who said, love one another. If everybody loved the next person, there'd be no trouble down here. And it would, in fact, echo Jesus's heartfelt prayer that he advised everybody to say, to make it on earth as it is in heaven, to make earth and heaven the same. So, so we have our religion, we have our science, and we have our philosophy. And I think that anybody who says that we are just totally, earthly centered and worried about ourselves is definitely getting it wrong. The other thing is, I'd like to share a little joke with you, and a little puzzle that my eldest son shared with me today. Because when we were talking about such things, as we often do, he said to me, do you know what, Mum? He said, what do they mean, is anybody there? Knock once for yes and twice for no. He said, if there's nobody there, he said nobody would knock twice to say they weren't there. And I thought that was a very amusing spiritualist joke, and something we could all think about when we say knock once or even twice, knock twice for yes, once for no, or vice versa. Nevertheless, it's totally paradoxical, isn't it? Because if there's nobody there, they can't knock. And of course, what we love about our mediumship is not just our mental mediumship, which you will have demonstrated tonight by Alison, but our physical mediumship too. And before my camera gave up on my phone, as usual, and we had to try and do something with this movable feast of a webcam. I was sitting near a couple of trumpets, a couple of crystal balls, and various other planchettes, which is an automatic writing machine and stuff like that. Wonderful things which bring us back to the very fact that you can ask spirit to, those in spirit to knock anyway, in response to you. It's just amazing. And of course, we've had much table turning and tables knocking and rocking and trumpets flying about, stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic phenomena. And that is science. It's not something, that is unheard of. It can be proved that we do live on after we pass away from this life in the physical. So I hope that you've been cheered up. And the next time you hear somebody say, is anybody there? Not about this malarkey with the cameras and all that stuff, but is anybody there in spirit? Knock once for yes and twice for no. If you get twice, you could call them liars. Yes, it'd be interesting. Perhaps we should just not do that, but ask them their name and spell it out, because that's the other thing we can do. We can ask them to spell their names out with a planchette or an alphabet and a pendulum. I've done that myself. Very, very interesting. So I'll leave you with those thoughts about our wonderful way of life, and also the fact that somebody got dismissed from their work for in an NHS for blessing somebody, saying have a blessed day. And I think that's dreadful, because we're not assaulting anyone, we're not hurting anybody, we're blessing them and asking to give them, to have blessings. So I will, in defense of that poor person who is fighting for her job, along with everybody else, to say have a blessed time this evening. Be blessed.
Thank you, Lynn. And it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. You've said, because you've come off the phone, I'm just going to mute you briefly, as is my wont these days. Whilst you were sorting out the technology, we were indeed talking about words and books, and I'm going to come on to what your book's about in a minute, Alison, because I think everyone will then have a pair that they can use to read their way through the summer, and perhaps even on a beach somewhere. It might not be in Malta or anywhere like that, but Hunstanton's just as good. As I was saying, I was talking to... Oh, hang on, I'm being summoned.
I just saw on the news that they showed, would you believe, Israel, and said that everybody is welcome to go to Israel as long as they've been vaccinated, because the whole population now of Israel is vaccinated. And they're welcoming people, and on top of that, in their their little chat about it, and you saw the beautiful beaches and everything else, they were flying the rainbow flag. So gay people are also very welcome in Israel.
Oh,
I just wanted to say that.
Isn't it Tel Aviv?
And it is the Mediterranean.
Isn't there a Pride in Tel Aviv?
Oh yes.
Oh,
huge.
Yes. I've seen the pictures. No. Still got to sort that out.
But they're just generally speaking, they're inviting everybody, including the gay population, to come and paddle in the Mediterranean off the Israeli coast.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. That is brilliant. But seriously, 2 books to read now when we're paddling in the beach. But it's interesting that you should have said about, picked up on the books and the words and everything, because what you then went on to say was part of the conversation that I had with Penny earlier. And I actually read to her, after I found it, the words that I'd written. And it said that we are a servant of spirit and a bringer of truth, as those in the world of light have shown it to us, to help build a world based on the foundations of the principle that we have to put in an effort to ensure we create earth as it is in heaven, which is, part of the Lord's Prayer that you quoted earlier. So they're very much on par today with getting to know everything that's going on. And as ever, they are in charge. We know this. We have no hand in it whatsoever other than being mouthpieces. But as ever, people appreciate your mouthpiece, Reverend Lynn. And I'm not referring to the one on the trumpet. I'm speaking of the one on yourself. Everyone has been very, very positive. When you get a second, so long as the screen isn't as blurry your end as it is ours, you can read what everyone's been saying. I have been putting it up, but you were in your flow. So I didn't want to interrupt. But absolutely wonderful as always, Lynn. Thank you. And whilst you're still on, Alison, what's your book about?
My book is going to be a bit of a hybrid book, really. So part of it is going to be about my own kind of spiritual journey, but it's also going to be sharing things that people, as they're on this spiritual pathway, they may be finding difficult, or they may not realize that it's part of the spiritual journey that they're on. So it's going to hopefully give like people aha moments and put things into perspective a little bit, and to help them make sense of their own journey, perhaps, as well as it being a little bit of what I've learned and what Spirit have taught me. And so hopefully they can find their own way through and make sense of their own lives and their own experiences. So
fantastic. And do you know what? Whilst you've been talking, you've even brought Reverend Lynn into focus. The blurriness has gone, so it obviously works.
And
so
you know what was really funny was I was sitting in a trance group with a trance group this morning on Zoom, obviously, and I had a wonderful message of philosophy, which of course is Spirit's spoken word, all about the need to be putting more information out there, and saying that there is at the moment Spirit are orchestrating people to be kind of sharing their experiences and their words and their knowledge and their understanding, to share it with everybody else who's interested, and also those who are kind of on the periphery and maybe wondering a little bit. So I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And that was straight from Spirit this morning. So really
fantastic.
Everything comes together.
They're really on the ball tonight. Apart from me, there has been a comment. I will address it. Reverend Alan Acton, no, I am not wearing my collar because I am behind on the laundry, because I've had a week off and I've been busy doing stuff. You can blame that one down there. It's not entirely her fault, I admit. It's my fault. But no, I'm behind on the laundry, so I'm not got my collar on tonight. But I have gone for a rather spiritual white. And if anyone's interested, these are available too. Look, it's the symbol in the corner of the screen in a pin badge form. Shameless pluggery of all things purchasable. Which, why not? But yes, they are available if anyone wants them. I'm looking rather wonky. Hang on a second. There we go. That's better. But yes, so I am in my cash attire tonight. But as Lynn quite often points out to us, as I'm sure Alan will likely agree, no matter what we're wearing, no matter what we are, no matter what we're doing, we're always ministering for something. And I know Alan certainly does. I know Reverend Lynn certainly does. And I know I don't get much choice in the matter. As you will find out too, Alison, I'm sure, and especially with that wonderful book coming out. So people, keep an eye out on all of the reputable bookstores, because you've got two very good books coming forward very, very soon. And today is indeed a day of I love winding them up. Today is indeed a day of miracles, because me and Reverend Alan have agreed with each other. Bless you, Alan. Thank you for that. And he knows I'm only winding him up. He's a good lad, and he's got a good sense of humour. And speaking of good sense of humours, we've got a right royal lineup tonight. So, Reverend Lynn, I'm going to say thank you for coming on and sharing your words as ever. You are unmuted.
Oh, thank you very much, Reverend Nick. I get such a shock when I'm allowed to speak now. But I was really happy to hear about your book, Alison. Excellent. The more good people we have putting more good thoughts out there, the more we combat the negative that always wants to try and take over the flaming world, doesn't it? And we just have to keep on going. And as White Eagle always said, keep on keeping on. And it's very important to do that and not to, stumble, and to keep going. If we do stumble, we just, dust ourselves off and keep going, because we need to make the world a better place for everybody. And we really have got to try and do our best to do that. And there are so many miserable people around now. We have a real responsibility, to lift their spirit, literally. So, thanks, Alison, for all you're doing too, because each one of us has got a role in this life to make it better for the next person. And I'm sure that everything will be much better soon.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the summer, please God. Be'ezrat Hashem, as they say, as Jesus would have said, with the help of God.
Absolutely. Lynn, thank you so much. And we'll see you at the end, of course, for your analysis. God bless. God bless. Bless. I love those. And everybody loves it too. Everyone enjoys a good chat with Reverend Lynn, as we all do. Now, Alison, as you know, we do things a bit, now I was going to say it like my grandfather would have done, but I hadn't better. We do things a little bit back to front here. We're now going to have our reading, which I know is traditionally before the philosophical debate. But as you know and have gotten used to by now over the years, we like to be different and awkward. And we test the spirit, as St. Paul used to say. Probably not in those words. I'm not as good at Hebrew, at quoting Hebrew as Reverend Lynn is, although she'll probably be able to tell us the exact quote later on. You've got an hour. It's fun making her laugh when she thinks I'm not watching. But we like to do things back to front and have... Now, come on, that's just not fair. That is not what I was going to say, Karen Moulton. Wash your mouth out. I was going to say arse about face, but there you go. Oh, wait, I just did. Never mind. Yes, we have our reading after the philosophy, just to demonstrate that Spirit already knew what was going to be said, and therefore the philosophy did not have to follow through from the reading, but follows to the reading. And I'm bigging it up and making a big thing of it tonight, and I hope that they're going to prove me right as usual. Reverend Alan, are you there?
I am. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Things are getting better.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Reading. I've got two, actually. I'm only going to read one, although they're both very, very good. And I did both actually, but never mind. It's called Treasures, Patricia L. Cisco. Treasures come in so many ways that lights the cloudy days, the rainbow of summer shower, a rose that blooms within an hour. Yes, treasures come in so many ways. A baby's staring, wondering gaze, a dolphin's dance on ocean waves. Yes, treasures come in so many ways. The heartbeats of two souls in love, a beautiful white and peaceful dove. Yes, treasures come in so many ways. A sky full of snowflakes of rarest form, a cup of cocoa to keep us warm. Yes, treasures come in so many ways. A house full of family on holidays. For these treasures we should give God praise. Yes, treasures come in so many ways. I could keep on counting for days and days. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. And absolutely wonderful. And not only does it tie in with the theme of gifts from spirit and wonderful words, Lynn always used to call them golden words. I used to think that she was taking the Michael out of me, but I found out later that she actually genuinely did mean it, as she always did, to be fair. But we're talking all night of golden words, and even taking those golden words with us on holiday to read on the beach. And there you are, it even comes up in the reading. So, Alan, on form your guides as ever, my friend.
Yeah, good.
Bless you. So what have you got planned for the week ahead?
Well, tomorrow I'm actually going down to, we call it Bullet Bank, but it's actually on Cleethorpes Beach. And I'm going a serious metal detecting exhibition.
Wow.
I went last Sunday to a dig out in the Lincolnshire Wolds, which is obviously a very Saxon area, but sadly all I found was a tiny little Tudor button. But it was quite all night. Yeah, absolutely.
Bless you. Oh. He's got a little bit too close to the dishwasher.
Yeah, I'm just keeping busy, to be quite honest with you. You know, just,
Good.
it
Well,
stops the
literally,
mind
treasures
wandering.
come in many different ways. If you're going down to a beach to do some treasure hunting.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know, it's funny how everything ties in completely. And I'm gonna spool it up on this because I think it's wonderful. As Lynn has mentioned many times. Thank you, by the way, Anthony. I do look very different, and I don't think I look half bad without them. Thought you'd notice. But I can't see anything without them. Yeah, I have spoken many a times with Lynn, and Lynn has referenced it numerous times. But I had a cousin who did our family tree, and we've traced our family back to something like the second cousin of Queen Etheldreda, who built Ely Cathedral, of which we work under or near to the shadow of, at least when the sun's in the right direction. But the funny thing is, when you mentioned what you've been finding, also in that is that there is Tudors in there as well. So I must have been part of the rather ill-advised group of them that spent all of their money quickly and didn't last, but at least we kept our heads. Which is a good thing.
Yeah, my friend that was out with me last Sunday in a different field from that particular dig, but it was only about 4 miles away, and we'd only been in the field 20 minutes, and he dug up a Henry VIII hammered coin.
Wow.
And because red those coins, and it's because he was so disliked, they rubbed them, and it actually showed his nose as red.
And I don't know if you realise, Alan, but we lost you briefly, and that sounded absolutely hilarious. Typical Littleport, eh, mate?
Pardon? Say again.
Typical Littleport. Typical Littleport. Everything taken out of context.
It'll all work out in the end.
It will, but yeah, it sounds like you're doing a good job there, mate. So keep us informed, and if you find ancient historical treasures, you can come back down here and build a cathedral for the Christian Spiritualist movement.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, I'd have to find treasure trove for that, Nick, and it has to be handed in, and then I get paid out.
Well, that's still fine.
Yeah.
That's still fine. Somebody's got to find it, mate, and if you're looking, you're likely to find it.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's all good. I'm really thoroughly enjoying the detecting side. You know, and it's not the value of anything. It's the fact that it is aged so well. It's been in that ground, and you find it, and you can actually get it cleaned up. And although it's not like new, it's still in good condition. It's intact. and and sort of little treasures, and that just takes you back to that era.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, have a good one and let us know how you got on, mate.
Yeah, will do.
All right then. God bless you, my friend, and we'll see you soon.
See you later.
There it is. Couldn't find my thumb. Well, it has come to my attention that some people seem to think that I look like a young Henry VIII. I would like to point out that I would never have beheaded any of my wives because I'd have never have married any of them. They'd have all been husbands. But there would have been plenty of queens in that palace. I'm saying no more and saying no less. And on that note, it's time for some healing, I think. You can tell I'm not wearing the colour tonight. I'm feeling naughty. Scratch that. I feel naughty all the time. So let us send out, in all seriousness, our healing thoughts to all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort. We begin with the healing prayer. We then follow to the healing video, which is some wonderful music to listen to and help cast the mind forward. And then end with the word Amen. So I'm going to get the button ready, and then I'm going to say those words. Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, here we bring unto you all those who are sick and suffering and in need of comfort, be they sick in mind, body, or spirit, that it may please thee to heal them. This we ask for those we know, those we do not know, and those who have no one to ask for them. We ask for them now. Well, friends, thank you for partaking in that healing. And now it is time, as ever, at this time of the evening, for me to get out of the way and hand over this evening to the wonderful Alison, who's going to give us a demonstration of mediumship. Now, if you think I've been naughty tonight, it's just that I'm the warm-up act. Because we now have our first recipient coming on the screen, who will literally make me look like a child's play. So welcome, if we dare, and we do indeed, to the platform. Reverend Kathy, are you there?
Hello.
Hello, my darling. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can, thank you. And I'm covering up my mouth because I had a tooth extraction yesterday. So I don't want to frighten everybody off. Not even you.
If you'd have kept the mask on and not said nothing, that could have been something that Alison could have given you.
But I don't care. And look, you've knocked out the dog.
You can't get the recipients these days, can you, Alison?
I don't know.
You've knocked the dog out. You've knocked the dog out. You've knocked her out already. Look.
Well,
hello,
sweet pea.
So there you go.
I did warn you. And on that note, it's over to you two. Bye.
Bye.
If you've got any discomfort, I used to be a surgical dental nurse, so
I did while they tried to crack it out, dear. It was like they got masks on, they couldn't get the the tooth out. They decided, I thought, is this like a nuclear war coming on? And then the various costumes came on. I thought, really, it's only a tooth. The whole truth and nothing but the tooth, but it's better out than in, as they say, Alison.
Absolutely. Oh, I hope you're not in too much discomfort anyway. And on to the reading. Yeah, right. So first of all, I'm being made aware of a lovely gentleman in spirit, and he's coming in on my left-hand side, which for me usually indicates kind of paternal side, so dad's side of the family or the male side of the family. And this gentleman, he's coming forward. I'm feeling him putting his arms around me, and it's like he wants to extend his arms around you. And I know that this would have been a love connection. It would have been a connection where you felt very, very comfortable with each other and would have shared a lot, because he's just giving me the feeling of sending so much love from him to you. All right. And alongside that, he's wanting to give, give comfort, but it's like a deep comfort. So I know this is nothing to do with your tooth. It's healing of the heart, if you would understand that. And
he had bad teeth too.
Oh, did he? Bless him.
We're Scottish, you see. We like our nippy sweeties. That's why we've got no teeth left.
Oh. Well, this gentleman's wanting to is giving me the feeling of lots and lots of love for you, but also that kind of that comfort and deepness within the heart, kind of healing within the heart for you. And he's giving me, I feel this would have been quite a tall gentleman, because he's making me feel a lot taller than me, and because he's making me kind of feel like I'm being pulled upwards. And I feel that habitually he would wear quite dark clothes, because the feeling he's giving me is that he's wearing like quite a dark jacket, and like he's got dark trousers on, and either a dark grey or a dark green top as well. And the top is actually quite V-necked as well. So I don't feel he's wearing a shirt as he's showing himself to me. He is, however, making me aware of a watch that he would have worn that would have been really quite important to him. And he's saying that you have that watch, all right, and that you take it out and you look at it. And that's something that you've been doing yesterday, he's telling me. So you don't get it out every day, but occasionally you will. And he was aware of you doing so yesterday. And the feeling that he's giving me with that is that I know today is the 6th of May, but he's wanted to talk about a very early part of May, and there being some memories with this gentleman around about the 1st or 2nd of May. All right. And he's also is wanting to talk about September being important, particularly for him as well. And with that, it's showing me a candle. So I know this is in kind of celebration of him. So this would be the time of his passing. He's wanting to also, he's showing me the sea. And I know that would resonate very much with him, and he would feel very comfortable by the sea. But I don't feel it would be like a seaside place. This would be more wild than that. It wouldn't be somewhere you would go for a holiday, but he could go and he could watch the waves crashing just because he loved it so much. And he's saying that that was his thinking space. And it's almost like when the world crashes around you, having that important place is so important, and it doesn't matter where it is or what kind of place it is. It's the place that resonates with your heart. All right. And he's letting me know that you've not been able to get to your special place recently, and I don't feel it's because of COVID either. There's been another reason you've not been able to get there, and he's saying that this is kind of really kind of playing on you, and it's like you need that solace, you need that energy, and you need that special place. So he's just wanting to let you know that he's aware of that, and he's giving you his unconditional love. And I do feel there would have been times when you would have had cross words with each other, and I don't mean in a really bad way, but it's just making me aware that it wasn't all like smooth, and it wasn't all roses and all that kind of light. It's saying there were some difficult times, but the love was deep, and the love was strong, and it's like he's putting my hands together. It's like you couldn't separate, if you understand that. And he's still right beside you every step of the way. And I know you've obviously shared about your tooth from yesterday, but he's talking about something different to that, and he's wanted to say that he's with you every step of the way, and he doesn't want you to waver, and he doesn't want any doubt coming in. He's saying because you know in your heart what needs to be done and what needs to be to happen, and he's saying you're right, girl, and those are his words, you're right, girl. And
thank you.
He just wanted you to not waver, because you don't need to, and you've got his strength with you as well. All right.
Thank you.
Such a lovely gentleman. I feel he could be quite strongly opinionated, but quite softly spoken. The energy he's giving me is really.
Could you understand him? He's Scottish, Glaswegian.
By softly spoken, I mean his tone was quite. How he's coming to me anyway. There's that gentle side to him, and I feel it's that side that he's showing to me at the moment. But that was not what everybody saw. Okay, and you did see the more fiery side sometimes as well, but usually it was the very soft side that he showed and shared with you. And
thank you.
He's also wanting to. He's just showing me something. I'll try and ask him to show me it a little bit clearer. It's actually a little dish, a little round dish, and I feel it's like it's not a posh dish or a really extravagant, or it's just like a little trinket dish, but it's quite I can't think of a better word than coarse. It's not like really smooth, it's quite rugged, if that you would understand that, and it's only about so deep, but it's just bringing in that dish for you. So I don't know whether that is a dish you would understand, and I feel like the colours that he's showing me is kind of almost like it's unglazed or not very well glazed on the outside, but the inner side is smoother and it's like a greeny blue in colour, and so he's just showing me that. So I know that there's some significance with that little dish. Okay.
Also symbolic about one's person, about the rough outside and smooth.
Okay.
To work on oneself.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Right. Can't say that.
Be careful.
Okay. I'm asking him to put something in a slightly different way.
It's all right. We can take it.
No, it's nothing horrible. It's just like it's almost. Are you still there?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. You just disappeared from my screen as I'm kind of working with you.
Yes,
would you understand? Oh, now this sounds really stupid, having just had your teeth taken out. But he's talking about cutlery having been changed within the house.
A what?
All right.
What's that?
And
sorry, Alison, I didn't hear that.
Like you've had to clean out of the kitchen drawers, and things have changed in there. And he just wanted to say that he's aware of that.
We have so much stuff, Alison, you don't know. I've started some bits in the kitchen. We start somewhere.
All right, because it's just making me aware of things being changed and swapped over, he's saying.
It's nothing like cleaning out your drawers, dear. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. We've all got to do that occasionally, haven't we? But I hope that's been okay for you anyway.
That's been marvellous. Thank you so much. And I was thinking of him today, and in fact, obviously being sort of a medium, not an extra large, I did get him through today. And that watch, I've actually broken, so it does come out. But thank you so much, Alison. Lovely reading. And he's always there. He was there when I played football. He was there when I did my running. He encouraged me all the way, and he's with me all the way. So thank you. God bless you.
Very lovely energy with the gentleman.
Oh, yes. You can take his teeth back and his wonky eye and his dyslexia and dyspraxia. Thanks, Dad. Love you.
Bless you. Kathy, as ever, always a pleasure to have you grace our screens.
Thank you. And I'll try and get this fixed, I don't care. When you're 66, dear, you don't care anymore. Grow old disgracefully. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Quite right too. What was your excuse 20 years ago when we first met?
beg your pardon. I had teeth then, and I was young.
But my
and
point
very...
is, but you weren't growing old disgracefully. You were just disgraceful, dear.
Oh, I know, but I'm old, thank you, dear. I can get away with it.
Kathy, let's
You'll
be
find
honest.
that out eventually, Nick.
Kathy, let's be honest. You always got away with it, love.
Oh, I know. It's now your turn. I'll pass it on to you.
Why, God bless
Thanks
you,
so
my
much,
child.
Alison. Bye.
Lovely to see you.
Thanks.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Don't disappear, Kathy. Come back for the closing prayer.
Oh, I won't. Of course. Thank you. Bye, Alison.
Bye.
Bless. I love that woman. Thank you so much for coming on, Kathy. And so now we have another familiar face waiting for her reading. And she's just realised it's her because she's just thrown her pen across the room ready. So we know that she is ready. Samantha, are you there?
Hi.
Hey, can you hear us?
I can hear you, yeah.
I'm out the way. See you.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Alison.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah, beautiful, soft energy is just kind of enveloping me at the moment. And I feel this would be Mum, if you would understand Mum being in spirit, and the feeling that she's just trying to whoosh straight out, all around me. And so I know that she's very much around you at this point in time. And she's actually making me feel quite cool. But the feeling that she's making me feel the coolness is to give, it's a very calming, a sense of calm. So I know that there needs to be a sense of calm around you at this point in time. So she's just letting you know that she's there, and she's giving you that sense of calm. And she's making me feel very much like there's a bit of a a bit of a toing and froing going along at the moment. You're trying to get something sorted out, and she's just saying that she's helping with that. She's kind of she's showing me lots of paperwork, and she's saying she's like sorting through, and you don't need this and you don't need that. So she's helping you with that process. And the feeling that she's giving me with that also is it's a really kind of hard, thankless task going through all that kind of stuff. But she's saying it needs to be done, and to make sure that you get the right bit that you're looking for. It's like you're looking for something, you need to get hold of something.
I am.
And she's saying it'll be the last place you look, so don't stop looking. So I don't know whether that's reassuring or not, but that's kind of what she's making me aware of anyway.
Okay.
But I know she's helping you.
Thank you.
But aside from that, she's wanting to talk about kind of joy within the family. All right, she's just making me aware of a celebration that's happened quite recently, and that she was part of. All right, and she thinks she was invited, for want of a better description, and that she was honoured to be there and to be able to be kind of around familial people.
Yeah.
And she's talking about play. There's been a lot of play going on, and funness within the house in quite a different way to normal, if you would understand that. Because she's saying she's been really enjoying what's been going on, and enjoying the fun and the frolics and the laughter. And she's also all right. She's bringing in. She's making me aware of a song. And I feel this would be a song that she really liked. And oh gosh, right, I can't quite get what it is, but it's which probably isn't any help at all. But I feel it would be a song or a piece of music. No, it is a song that she would have had playing quite regularly when she was here.
Okay.
On the stereo.
Okay.
And she's actually showing me it as it being a record, an LP. And it's like the person who's singing, it's a male singer. The person who's singing is on the right-hand side of the cover as you're looking, and he's wearing a white shirt. And then he's kind of just looking over fields, which are obviously green. So it's that kind of cover that she's showing me.
Okay.
I
Right.
don't know whether that's a record that you have or that you have memories of, but I know that the tune she's giving me is from that.
Okay.
All right.
I think I know who that will be. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Sometimes they'll give me the name of the singer or the song, but she hasn't on this occasion.
Okay.
But she showed me the cover.
The cover.
She's also wanting to. Yeah, she's talking about you pushing your own boundaries recently and doing something a little bit different. And it's like, you were like, do I, don't I? But she's saying she's so pleased that you have taken that step and doing something for you. And it is just for you because you want to, not because you have to, but because you want to. And she's saying, well, actually, it's about time, you know? And so she's absolutely delighted. And lovely lady, and would you understand her lips always being really like lipstick on?
Yes.
Because she's making me feel like I've got kind of pinky coloured lipstick on at the moment, but she's making me feel that hers would be a little bit deeper than mine.
Yeah,
all right.
Always smart, yeah, always well presented.
And she's just giving me that feeling very much that whenever she left the house, she would always kind of check that she was happy with how she was looking.
Oh,
and yeah, lovely lady. And right. Would you understand her liking Marks and Spencer's for preference?
Yes.
Because she said it had to be Marks and Spencer's, and she always bought her bags from there as well. She's showing me, and she's the kind of bags that she would buy. They'd be quite that stiff leather, like tough leather, but soft but strong. And quite roomy, and because she's just showing me a lovely bag that she has here, and all right, but what she could fit in them would be no one's business, and it's like whatever you needed, it was in there. It's like Mary Poppins.
Yeah,
she's just being a bit. She's just showing me how she's like pulling all sorts of stuff out of there. Yeah, so she's just kind of sharing that memory with you, but I know that she would be very coordinated as well in how she presented herself.
Yeah.
Right. She's talking about you having a difficulty with one of your shoes at the moment. She's just saying that one's not, either it's not comfortable for you or there's a slight problem with it.
Yeah, I can take that. Yeah.
Okay, because she's just saying that she's aware of it. She's saying, don't put up with it. It's uncomfortable feet aren't worth it.
Yeah.
All right. So as much as she would be smartly dressed, I do feel that she also really valued comfort as well, and needing to be comforted. She's like, so if it's not comfortable, don't wear it. You know, get it sorted. She's saying. All right. She's talking about a card that has come through the post recently, and she's showing it as being like a greetings card. I don't feel it's a birthday card. It's just like a well wishes card almost, but it's not because anyone's been poorly. It's just like a greetings card is what she's just saying. So if it's not arrived yet, there's one on the way. Okay. She's making me feel. And she's just saying there's a lovely picture on it, all right? And it'll make you smile, all right? Okay. Very strange, okay. She's just showing me a zebra.
Oh,
right. All right, so I'm asking her why she's showing me a zebra. And all right, now obviously zebras are striped, but she's saying it's to do with the kind of black and white. So there's always two sides to every story, basically.
Okay.
And so she's saying make sure that you look at both sides and you don't just take one side without investigating the other.
Yeah.
All right, it's got to make sense to you.
Yeah.
All right. You can't make sense of something unless you have all the information.
Yeah, no,
so I feel that was much more metaphorical. She wasn't sending you a zebra or anything.
No.
But she alongside that, she's saying that she did love the animals, the exotic animals. and I don't feel she ever went to see them, but she would enjoy watching them on television, because she's just, you know, all David Attenborough's wildlife programs, and she's showing me the ones, particularly in Africa. She loved those animals, particularly the big cats, and she's lovely lady. And what's she doing? She's actually given me a little bit of discomfort in my back, so I know that she would have experienced that. And alongside that, she's just making me feel really tired all of a sudden. And I feel that was something that stemmed from her back. All right, if you would understand that. And she's saying it just got to the point where she needed to go, if you would understand that. How she's putting it across is that she was tired, and she's saying she made her peace before she made her transition, if that made sense for you. All right. But she's smiling, and so we know that she's absolutely fine where she's in the spirit world. And just so much love, and again, that lovely kind of comfort around you. So I hope that's been okay for you.
Yes, thank you.
Bless you.
Are you all right?
I've moved the screen so we can hug each other.
Sorry.
Are you all right?
I am fine, thank you. Oh, it's lovely. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I don't like making people cry.
No.
I've got to say, and this is a lesson for anyone who's learning and developing to be a medium. One of the things that we have to say, because we as physical beings have no control over what's going to come through, both as recipients and to an extent as mediums, because it's up to spirit what gets said. Somebody asked me today, if we really want something, what are the chances of us getting it? And I said, well, it's all dependent on spirit. But what I do know is that spirit are quite good. And so I know that, Sam, you will have received with great glad tidings the information you've just received.
Yeah, okay,
so thank you, Alison. And besides which, when the emotions are running a bit high, spirit always find a way of bringing the emotions back up. Especially as I'm about to say, what time is it?
Okay, ready?
Let me put the screen right there. You go. Thank you so much for coming on, Sam. And now, officially, I say, Hannah, what time is it? It's Bully's special prize. Well, are you going to look after your mum after that reading, darling?
Yeah.
I know you will. So you give mum a good old hug, and we'll see you both at the end of the service, all right?
Thank you.
Bless you. Right, I need to start clicking the right buttons. I've been confusing myself because it is now time for your final reading. And here he is.
Sorry for laughing. Oh, bless you. Hello.
Hello. So I'm going to have one screen up, but I'll bring the next one up when it's time to finish.
Okay.
And I'm going to remove that horrible one of my phone. There you
right. Go. Okay. All right. How are you?
I'm not so bad, thank you, Alison.
Thank you. Right. Okay. I'm feeling really emotional, actually, speaking of emotions. And I know that you've been feeling, well, I don't know, but I'm being told that you've been feeling quite emotional recently, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I do feel, as you know anyway, I do feel that I have your dad with me, okay? And he's just making me feel really alive and really that joyousness that he always had with him. He always is. He still is. And would you? I mean, I've kind of met your dad, but I don't know your dad in any way.
Exactly.
Other than he made a stonking cup of coffee.
Didn't he?
But would you understand? He would. You would have like you'd just have fun together.
Yeah.
And it was more like friends rather than father and son, without being disrespectful to that
absolutely,
relationship in any way. Because he's just kind of giving me a punch in the arm in a really nice way, you know what I mean? Like friendly, and just kind of messing around with each other and just generally having fun. And he's wanting that fun to continue. He's wanting you to be having fun, all right? And he's like, life doesn't have to be serious all the time, okay? And I hope this is kind of okay to say, but is the feeling he's giving me is that you are being much more serious of late, and you need. How can I put this?
Say it as it comes.
You need to allow yourself to feel those emotions, but allow yourself to do what you want to do, to have that fun. I guess how he's putting it across to me is that you feel people have expectations of you, and you go along with that, but he's saying you need to remember to be you as well.
Thank you.
If that makes sense. And he's saying that with such a lovely smile and so much love. And he's did your dad used to dance? It sounds like a really silly thing to say. Because he's making me move my feet, and I'm wanting to dance. Not with him, but I'm wanting to dance with his energy, within his energy rather.
Yeah.
And so he's just making me aware of that. And all right. And and he's showing me himself when he was younger. All right. And he's saying that he was really he loved the dance, but he loved kind of the getting dressed up and going out, and kind of very sociable lifestyle. And he's saying that was his younger years, very social. And then he got to a point in life where he kind of became more serious.
Yeah.
And how he's putting it across to me is that with some people he could still be that fun person, but with other people he couldn't be.
Yeah.
And it's making me feel very much that there were some emotions that linked in with that, all right, and experiences that made that a little bit difficult for him. And he's just mindful of how important it is to stay true to you,
Yes.
and how it was important for him to stay true to him. But in some ways there was an aspect where he didn't, if you would understand that.
I do.
And I'm checking very carefully how he wants me to put this across. Okay. But yeah, he's like, you know, he's got you, and almost like he just wants you to be happy and to be you, all right? And he knows you have responsibilities, but he's saying that's not the whole of you. You need to be, you need to allow that other side to be as important, to have that balance, all right? And now he said, we're going to stop being serious now, because he didn't like people to see the serious side of him.
No.
And so he's just like throwing his head back and he's laughing, and he's just really, he's enjoying, he's saying he's enjoying, kind of enjoying watching and observing. And he was quite a watcher anyway, I feel.
Absolutely, yes.
And so he's really enjoying. He says, but I can see so much more now. I can see more things at the same time. And with a little bit of a twinkle in his eye, he's like, so, watch out. You know, because that's not to you. That's just like his humour coming through. And it's like, because he would be really interested in everybody. And he's saying, now I can be interested at the same time with everybody. All right. And so he's saying it's quite good fun up there. All right. And obviously within kind of the belief system that your whole family has, he knew anyway, but he's saying it's so much different up there to how it is and how we experience it down here. And he's wanting to confirm the lightness up there, not the bright lights, but the lightness of being and the lightness of energy. All right. And he's wanting to talk about energy with you. And so he's making me aware that the energy is changing very much around you at the moment. And new things are coming in, and to just go with it and to trust and to allow it to do. But then you take responsibility for the other side of you as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And he's just feeling kind of the air and the energy around me with such love and gentleness, and I want to say honesty. All right.
Yeah.
I feel the need,
to a fault. Everybody else's, that is.
Feel the need to say honesty, and with that is bringing in that song from Billy Joel as well. Honesty. And so I don't know whether he particularly liked Billy Joel or whether you do. But usually when I'm given a song, there's some a bit of a message in those lyrics as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
And so he's just wanting, he's around you anyway.
Yeah.
But he's saying it's different when someone else tells you that they're around as well.
Absolutely agree.
And and he's just so proud. So proud of you. And as he says that, I do feel he would cry sometimes in a lovely way, because as he says that proudness, about the proudness, is giving me little pinprick tears, which for me is the confirmation of Spirit's emotion, of your dad's emotion. And so I just know he's absolutely incredibly proud of you. And yes, and he's just smiling, and he's just enjoying being with within around you at this point in time. And he's also kind of is if I'm not being cheeky, this is your dad, by the way. All right.
Surprising.
He's saying about you not wearing your collar tonight. He says that was absolutely right for this evening.
It would.
Right.
Because he used to wind me up and say that if I couldn't ever find it, he'd cut me out a fairy liquid bottle one. That way it would stay clean. So he obviously is reference to the fact that mine's a bit dirty today. But there you go. It's getting cleaned. But no, he would always threaten to cut me out a fairy liquid bottle one. Not that they make that sort of fairy liquid bottle anymore. But
no, they don't. They bring them out of special offers occasionally.
Yeah.
I missed mine. I wanted to get one.
See what I can do next time. Bless you. But thank you. And on behalf of us all, thank you so very much for a wonderful demonstration of mediumship tonight. Totally on your A game, totally on the ball. Everyone is expressing their love down the side for you, and I know you'll have a read, because I think you're one of our resident mediums who literally replies to everyone. I don't know how you find the time.
I do reply to people. Yes.
Yeah, you do. So everyone, she'll be in touch. But for this particular moment, while I just gather my thoughts, Reverend Lynn, how say you?
Yes, well done, Alistair. And that was a really evidential evening of mediumship. And of course, I should say that, of course, Kathy was not struck dumb. She was really trying not to actually open her mouth too much for a change. However, her father was in the Navy, you know.
Oh, right, okay.
And
No, I
of
didn't
course, you know, during the war. No, yeah, he was in the Navy during the war, and his voice was soft. And I know that you were thrown when Kathy said Glaswegian, because he did have a very strong Scottish accent. But the fact is that he came from rather upper middle class Scottish people. They were a company called Gibbs Pianos, and that's what his business was. And so he was very quietly spoken, but of course, because he was Scottish, it was quite difficult for me to understand him. And with his wandering eye, it was even worse. And also, Kathy didn't hear the word cutlery when you said it. And, you know, she thought he was referring to her sorting out the kitchen and everything. But the fact is that cutlery has been missing. You said cutlery is missing, that he mentioned about the cutlery missing. And I'd said to Kathy, or maybe Spirit had taken it, because there's you know, things out of the cutlery drawer were just going missing.
Oh, right.
For no apparent reason. And that was what we talked about this morning. And so it was absolutely evidential, is all I can call it. And absolutely justified the fact that I was talking about that in, you know, before you began your demonstration of mediumship. And the fact that you know, that you are so self-effacing, and you know, I think you deserve to, you know, to be renowned for your mediumship. And yeah, I'm sure that, you know, the book that you're writing and your work will speak for itself. And you've got a long way to go, Alison. So I think that you will be, you know, you're not seeking fame, and we definitely don't seek fortune in this way of life, do we? But I'm sure that you will look back on now and perhaps hopefully remember my words, that I'm telling you, you will be a very much loved old medium one day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bless you. And I have to say, Alison, totally, but bear with me while I just make a second. Everything that you said about Dad, even the secret and less known side of him, I've just got to reference the dancing, because I was talking about it today. I was telling Mum about how Lynn and I, after he'd just passed, was talking about his interest in music and all of the things that he used to love listening to. And I was reminded today of the time when they were all dancing, if you can call it that, in Ely Corn Exchange to Glad All Over. But it was a live performance, as it would have been in those days. And there's a particular bit where it's feeling glad. Well, at that point, everybody always used to bang their feet. Yeah, that was the day that Ely Corn Exchange lost its flooring and they all fell about 3 feet into the ground. So thank you for reminding me again of that lovely story that we all know he was full of stories, but that one is a particular favourite of mine. So thank you for that. And I know Mum is watching from YouTube as well, so I know she'll be very grateful to have heard your words, that he is settled in and keeping an eye on us all. So thank you for that so much. And thank you from all of us tonight. I cannot back up Lynn's words any more strongly than she's given. So thank you so very much. And I think, my friends, it's time for a closing prayer. So let's get everyone back up, because Kathy's just returned. Let me get Sam and Hannah. There's Alan. Is everybody here? Let me change the screen. So there we are. Henry's arrived as well. I hope he's not going to have a fight with Daisy, or is Daisy still unconscious? Oh, hello, babe. Hello. Oh, isn't that well? It's been a real family affair tonight, but I do mean that in the sense of everyone who's been watching and joining in, new friends and new faces that are part of the family. Kathy, as ever, has just disappeared. She'll be back. Don't worry, the screen's just timed out. But it's so much of a pleasure to welcome everyone. There you go. That's better. To welcome everyone week in, week out. And once again, on behalf of us all, Alison, thank you for a truly exceptional demonstration of mediumship. And Alan, thank you for your reading as ever. Hannah and Bully, of course, thank you so much for keeping the traditions of Littleport alive. Reverend Lynn, thank you for your words. Kathy, thank you for being our first victim. And of course, Sam and myself, thank you, Alison, for our messages along with Kathy. So let us join together as we say, Great Spirit, Father, Mother, God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together as friends, to unite under your banner of love and hope and friendship, to witness indeed that life is indeed eternal and can be proved through good, solid, genuine mediumship and through the hearts of those that are kind and honest. I ask for a blessing to be placed on each person here present, all those watching at home and all those that will watch at home. And of course, as ever, we state that we ask that in times of difficulty, you not move the mountain, just give us the strength to climb. And until we meet again in your name, everything we do will be in love, in truth, and in light. Amen.
Amen.
Well, thank you, everyone, for a wonderful night again. Thank you, everyone at home, for being interactive and involved in everything we do. You are wonderful, wonderful people, all of you, especially those sending me private messages about my grammar, and I thought it was just Lynn. But until next week, my friends, thank you all. May the peace of the Great Spirit go with you all. But until next time, good night and God bless.
you.